Welcome to Shade in the City. I'm Treese.
It's No.
And we are back, guys, after the Thanksgiving break. Holiday. Hope you guys had a great holiday, ate some good food and our stuff.
Because we did.
We definitely did. We're so sorry about the Thanksgiving special, but guess what? We did cook, just not for you guys. But I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and all the toodles and doodles, as I said. So we are getting into Ready to Love, episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we have gotten over the hump, guys. And so we're going to see who gets eliminated. Let's get ready to get shady. All right, guys, we're going to try this again. Let's get ready to get shady.
Clank, clank.
Thank you.
So we're starting off this episode with all the ladies coming in looking beautiful. Everybody's body is banging. The outfits are super cute. Makeup done to a T.
No missing eyelashes falling or nothing crazy like that. I was just saying we
That's
all
your
on.
girl, ain't
No, I love me some Sabrina. She knew I seen Sabrina's feed. She knew her eyelash was coming off. Look, I found out from her.
It's all right. I would have told you, boo. I'd have let you know because we don't play about these. But so nephew Tommy drops the bomb and lets the girls know that you need to introduce your guy of interest to
the friends. To the girls. And well, not all of them are girls, but I will say that you would hate if I was that friend. Just know that.
Yeah, Treese is tough.
I'm asking all them questions. You can ask all my homies.
She's the one pulling out her phone with a list going through. She already got a list of questions.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely. You'll see, but yeah, I'm that friend.
And I think some of the girls are worried because they have that friend.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay because we get to the nitty gritty and tell you what it is and let you make your own decisions. We ain't gonna make them for you. But when you come back 5 months later and be like, girl, we're gonna be like, we tried to tell you.
He answered the question.
Okay. So they got to get it together. They got to start breaking it down. And yeah, we're going to meet the friends and see what happens. All right, y'all. So we see Zadia and Naeem.
Body, yada, 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 yada.
I wanted to do that when we opened up. I swear. Okay, I didn't want to do that to her name, though, every time we talk about her.
Guess what? You can talk about the outfit.
Okay, the outfit is pretty in pink. She's giving. Love how it brings out her skin tone. She's clearly... She knows what she's doing with these neon colors. She's giving. So we see Naeem bring her flowers and he meets the friends. We don't remember the friends' names. And guys, that is a lot. So please do not expect us to have friends' names. Thanks. And they're really feeling Naeem and they ask him like, I didn't realize Naeem was 40. So I'm happy that they popped that back up because it makes up important. The reason I say that is because it makes sense why the homeboy, the one male in it, was like, well, what makes you ready to settle down now? Like, what's the difference? Like, and I get that because the man is 40 and he still isn't settled. So,
or more so, what took so long?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, that's what he was saying. So basically, he just says like he was just kind of really unlucky and just waiting for the right one. And I just, great answer, sir. Great answer. Definitely got my seal of approval, just off the flowers alone, but the conversation, you could tell that he's really here for Zadia and she's really here for him. And she's just beautiful, by the way. Probably one of my faves when it comes to just natural looks.
They look really cute together.
And they look very good together on paper and outside of that. So I hope that they actually work out. And I'm glad that the friends date went well. So we shall see.
Oh, Mr. Charming.
Walter.
Oh, right here. Done charmed the pants off of everybody, off of all Sabrina's friends.
And let me tell you, Sabrina had some tough friends.
She did.
They were sitting here like, yes, girl, bring them in. We're ready. And then he came in. with the beard and the, and just the soft, gentle tone. It was just like, yeah, no. And they were like, so
look here, tough friend. You would have been nice on him. You'd have been soft on. You would have been such a tough friend.
I would have been the one like, girl, if it don't work out, would you be mad? Would you be mad?
Be like, but I'm serious though.
But I'm serious though. I'm like, I'm just asking for your blessing. Because if I do it behind your back, you're going to be mad. So I'm just asking for your blessing.
Oh my God.
It didn't work out between y'all. Ain't no need.
Oh my God.
Anyway. So, no, they are very cute, and you could just see the chemistry between them. As I stated from review 1, I've always been here for Sabrina and Walter. I do think they have the biggest connection. The only thing that I thought was very interesting, and I thought that the question she should have posed to her friends to ask, is I know, if I'm not mistaken, I clearly heard Walter say, at least in the last 2 episodes, that he wanted to be a father and have kids of his own. So that kind of like took me aback when this is one of her most, and yes, it is one of her most serious connections.
You see, the one that writes down all the questions before she asked them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that would have been my first question. I'd be like, oh, so Walter, I know you really want but Sabrina's not for that. So how you feel about that? Because I'm ready to have more kids. I'm just saying. But point is that I just felt that it was weird. I mean, he did very well, but I just feel like that went away all of a sudden. And he says that she's in the top, in like the top of his list. And there's really,
some people feel like they might be able to change her mind.
Yeah, so I feel like she's at the
mind changing needed over here.
Huh? I'm just saying, I know that he stated that she is at the top of his list. So I just thought that was weird because I was like, well, I know he's had dates with Mumin, Zadia, all women who are without children and ready to have kids. So I just thought it was interesting, Sabrina being at his top, and she's made it very clear. But otherwise,
maybe it's not a 100% deal breaker. Maybe he's okay being a stepfather.
We shall see.
It's about to go down.
It was
shots fired.
It was blood left on the floor. So I'm just going to say this, that if you guys remember back to last episode when Shawn and Sabrina had their first one-on-one, and he mentioned to her that he wanted kids. And that was a thing for him. But he did say, I want you. I want to get to know you more. I also do not want to hurt you because I'm telling you something that I want is kids. So in this particular scene, and I actually had to explain to Chanel off camera, I was a little displeased with Sabrina.
Because I totally missed it.
She totally missed it. Because the thing is, Shawn made it very clear. And she went to her friends before he even got there and was like, well, yeah, he said he might break my heart in 3 months and he really doesn't know. And I was like, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. And if you would have delivered it to me as a friend that way, or if I would have told Chanel something like that before she met somebody, she would have came with that same smoke that Sabrina's friends came with.
Why are we even meeting him?
Why are we even meeting him? So I didn't appreciate that Sabrina set him up for the okie doke. In this scene, we see Shawn meet her friends, and basically they're just, shot after shot, like coming at him. They were like, well, are you a provider? Can you take care? And he's like, I can pay a bill or two. Shawn, that wasn't the answer.
Especially if you want kids.
Yeah, that wasn't the answer.
Saying that you're not a provider and you want kids is, yeah.
Especially not when you mess with somebody like Sabrina, who is about her bag, by the way. She is very much about her bag. She makes handbags, by the way. So I just thought that was crazy. And then she tries to he explains himself to the friends, but he's so far in the trenches at this point that they can't even see that.
Or accept what he's saying.
Or accept that he basically said, oh, maybe I said that in the wrong way. But what I meant by that was pertaining to children. That didn't give him no leeway. None. They were still gunning for him. And I felt like in that moment,
I think he's
going to stifle you. That's what the homeboy
even
said.
After explaining
after he explains himself. And Shawn's just like, what? I brought the playing cards. Like, I thought we was about to have a good old time, like at a cookout. And that's not what happened. And I hate to say this. I don't know if Sabrina intentionally sabotaged her date with her friends and Shawn, or if she unknowingly and just didn't give all the information. But that, in my opinion, that was her fault.
I feel like we're getting a lot of Sabrina shade this episode.
I told you I love Sabrina, but this was really messed up. And I'm not even a crazy Shawn fan like that, right?
She under a palm for y'all.
But I just felt like it was super, super messed up of Sabrina to introduce and present him that way, and then don't understand why the fallout happened. You set it up to happen like that. Maybe it's editing. Maybe we didn't see everything, but it looked like you set him up to basically hit the door.
In that context, you have to appreciate that he was being honest. He's telling you, I want kids. I understand that you don't. But I really like you. Mm-hmm. And I want to get to know you. And because I really like you, this could go somewhere, but only for a short while, because
I want children.
We have differences when it comes to children. So you have to appreciate that he was honest.
I appreciate that he was honest. And I'm sorry, Sabrina. In this particular moment, I just did not like the way you set him up for failure, because that's exactly what it was. All right, so we now see Camille and Cornelius. And we see him show up to meet Camille's friends. And yeah, girl, you did yourself a disservice. Don't do that again. You might want to give your friends the update before.
And scare him away.
Because it was worse for Camille than it was for Cornelius. And I didn't think it was supposed to go like that. But I think the one main question they have for Cornelius, and of course editing and whatever, we don't get to see the whole, but they kind of really are feeling him. They're like, what do you want to be doing in 5 years? He's like, hopefully I want a family. I, want kids, like all these things. And then they turn to Camille and they're like, well, why are you messing with him? Because, she got commitment issues and she been engaged a few times and, she gets bored easily. I was like, well, damn, our friends, how many of us have them? Friends, ones you can depend on.
Not those.
Because they just threw your ass straight under the bus.
That's all right. I hope you scared, boo. I hope you scared. Come into my bosom.
Okay, so we see our girl Sydney. I've been wondering where she been. They ain't even show her last episode.
She matching her friend with the pink.
Okay, friend.
I need to say something. I need a friend like Sydney because his makeup is to a fucking T.
Yes. The homeboy friend was giving.
He was like, I did not come to play. I know I'm be on TV. I need to look.
He said, I did not come to play. I came to slay. Okay.
His makeup was, he was looking better than them on the show. Okay. He was looking good. I need a friend like that, Sydney.
But we basically see them, he's like, I think they asked Frank, they said, so when's your last serious relationship? He tells them 3 years. And then they're like, well, what was the demise of that relationship? Go ahead, friend. And he's like, well, I just feel like I love too hard. I love too much. And I just love affection on the spot. And can I just say, Sydney, I'm here with you. But to a certain extent, I love the attention that Frank was giving her and the touchy-feeliness. And that's me. But at the same time, I can see how that could be overbearing. Right? And it'd be like, okay, it's too much. But I'm all with the love. I'm a very,
You know what his answer was giving me? And I feel the friend when he said it was a pageant answer. You know how with the job interview they ask you?
Oh, yeah.
What is your worst trait?
Or what is your worst job experience? And you're like, well, I've never had a bad experience. If I could change anything to make it better, I do that too.
They flip it to make it positive. And that's what he did. So I understand why he said it's a pageant answer. He's like, I get it.
It was very pageantish, Frank. But we're still here for Frank and Sydney. But I was kind of confused because I was like, hold up, Frank. Last episode, you was giving kisses to Mumin And, maybe I can wait. And now you over here with Sydney. Now I knew.
And Aisha. Let's not forget about Aisha.
No, I think.
He was in the photo booth with Aisha.
That's true. But I think that kind of fizzled off anyway.
You think so?
I do. I wasn't surprised. I guess because they haven't shown Sydney. I was just surprised to see her and him pop up.
I think it's, they're familiar with each other. And
they're both from the nightlife.
They know the life. So
I think that they can finagle and work it. Because I would think in that industry, I would think that you would need someone that understands I have to go to the club because this is my job.
Mm-hmm. So if y'all are both at the club,
it's not like, a thing. You're not like, oh my God, he's always at the club, because you're always at the club. Mm-hmm. But I still think that's a crazy lifestyle to like try to start a life, if that makes sense, with each other.
What age are they? I mean, like,
I know Frank is in his 30s. I'm not sure about Sydney.
I thought Frank was like, does he like?
He owns his own brand business. Yeah, his beverage brand.
So why is he in the club?
Because he's trying to get his beverage in the club so you can sell it. And
so he's not in the club
she's in the club because she's actually like a hostess. Like, I'm assuming, allegedly, we don't know what her position is, but she gives me, if you follow her on Instagram, she gives me bottle girl, she gives me promoter, she's on the flyer type thing.
I thought there was like a time to age out from that. I don't know her age.
That was shady as shit.
I don't know her
That
age.
was shady as shit.
I thought there was. I thought in your 20s you age out from that.
Okay, y'all. So we see Mumin and Dante. And they're sitting out. She brings her friend that has been married for, I think she said 24 years. Kudos, girl. This is one thing me and Chanel always say. Don't go putting your friends in your business that have no fucking experience and then letting them give you advice. Don't let a single girl.
And let me tell you something.
That's like letting a bald girl do your hair.
Marriage is not easy.
Okay.
So 24 years.
I respect it. I respect it. So smart call, Mumin. I appreciate you for that, but I'm gonna get in your ass later. So, we see Dante and Mumin, and she talks to the friend is like asking him like about his home life, and he tells her this is one thing I can appreciate about Dante. He's not trying to hide his kids. He's not trying to hide his situation, and I can appreciate that about him. So he tells her up front, I have 3 kids, 3 different baby mamas. And I was actually like, Mumin goes into the confessional and she's like, I work in the children's ministry. I love kids. She's here for it. Dante, I think you found your winner. She is here for all them kids. She's like, as long as you keep your baby mamas under on like.
Let me ask, but does Mumin want kids?
She didn't address that.
I feel like,
but I think he found one because I don't think that he's ready to stop having kids necessarily.
Of course, he's a guy.
So I think that
he doesn't have to be with them 24/7.
That part.
He has to co-parent and gets weekends. So I'm just saying, of course, he's not against having more kids. I mean, he already has 3 kids with 3 different baby mamas. Who gives a fuck if I make a 4th?
Okay.
It was meant to be shady.
Okay, but Mumin was here for the kids. And I think that if you have somebody that's already in that mindset who hasn't had children and is already willing to accept your kids, or just the idea of accepting your, I think that's super dope. And I think that you might have found your match, because all the other women, I don't think that they were giving that. Even the women with children.
Unless you have one of your own, then you might just be a baby mama again.
Damn, Mumin, I'm sorry. I had some hope for you, but Nels over here is just, she's not very optimistic.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I told you I was going to get you, Mumin. Now, I'm all about exploring all the options, right? And I love that you have them, girl, because you are a very beautiful woman. But hear me out. Could we not have waited? As you guys see this picture on the far right, you have Mumin, her homegirl, Walter, and Dante. Walter walks up in the middle of Dante's one-on-one with her homegirl. And she's like, I just thought I'd get it out the way and da-da-da. You couldn't split up the times, make sure. I'm sorry, I thought it was tacky. I thought it was super tacky that you had them come there at the very same time.
You know what though? It also, if we're being honest, it shows her maturity level.
Because if I was a dude, and even Walter spoke to that.
Because in the same episode, Sabrina did the same thing, but she split up her dates. She brought them in separately. And
Good point.
Walter was not
here for it.
He was not feeling it.
The homegirl asked him, so, how do you feel about Mumin? And he was like, and is she one of the top choices? And he's like, yeah, she was. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, Walter did go see Sabrina, but he did that exclusive of Mumin. Mm-hmm. I think, and we'll see, but I think Mumin messed herself up with Walter because he did not think that was cute.
I don't think anybody would have thought it was cute.
I think that you could have broken it up. We know that there's multiple men that are after you. Mm-hmm. To rub it, it's already a situation where it's being rubbed in their face, mm-hmm. right? I didn't think you needed to make it more clear than that, girl. That was a bit, you have no coup. Okay. So we see Miss Aisha. Well, first of all, let's preface. Phil is a very popular man.
Apparently.
Phil,
As you can see
in the screenshot in the middle, dates. Phil had 3 dates. Went to them at different times, Mumin. Different locations.
Just everybody feels special.
Everybody feels special. Now, I will say, if I was one of these ladies dating him after I watched this back, you made everybody feel special. That's one thing I didn't like.
Okay, well,
I mean, he
was giving copy and paste a little bit.
He was he was giving it to everybody, and I was like, okay, bruh, like you should have a special something with everybody different.
What do you say? Like she's in the top. She's in the top.
I will appreciate he wasn't like deceiving. He was just like, yeah, like there are other girls that are interested in me, but Aisha is definitely in the top. Her friends was definitely like, you better not hurt my girl. I'm coming for you. I'm that friend.
And I believe them. I believe them friends.
Aisha, you got them good friends. Mm-hmm. But no, so we see Phil and he's like, yeah, I'm really here for her. And they're like, well, how do you feel about being a father to 2 boys? Because obviously, Aisha already got kids. And he's like, I don't stray away from kids. Like that's, and so that was a very good answer, Phil. Kudos.
I think he also made it clear that he wants kids.
So yeah, which they all kind of looked at her like,
what you doing with him?
But
they had a heart-to-heart about that last episode.
Which we saw. So yeah, but it was really cute. Phil, you can't be spreading a love to everybody don't like it. All right. So now we see Phil's date with Ceci. And her friends are ready. They're like both entrepreneurs. And she's like, yeah, my girl will ask some questions. And they get into, I think the conversation was going very well. And then they're immediately like, so how do you feel about children? And how many do you want? And he says he's looking for 2. And she's like,
how about 3 or more?
3 or more.
3 or more.
And he's like, 3 or more? Who they coming from?
I think he agreed.
Did he?
He agreed.
Okay.
I don't know if he was serious about it, but he agreed.
They asked all the questions that every lady wants to ask. Where is she? He says, oh, she's definitely, he gave a different answer though than what I can't remember he didn't give shady, but he didn't give the same answer that he gave with Aisha. He was like, oh no, we're really getting to know each other, or that like there's a bond there, but he didn't give like, oh, she's in the top. At least I don't feel like I remember him saying that about Ceci.
I feel like he said that with everybody.
Oh, he's really giving copy and paste.
I feel like he said that with everybody.
I don't feel like that. Maybe I missed that part.
He didn't say anyone was at the top, but he did say everyone was in the top. So, I mean, top 3, I guess it's really not that bad. I mean, just like...
unless you're number 3.
What was that T-Mobile thing back in your Fave 5? Like, I mean, he's got 3. So, we're going to give him a pass on this. This is how the show goes.
Damn, you old bitch. Who remembers Fave 5?
Fave 5.
Bye. Okay, now we see Busy Frank And that's exactly what I labeled this one in the middle. It's called Busy Frank. He is now with
Phil.
Oh, I'm damn. I told you I think everybody is Frank.
I know you
I'm sorry. Phil, y'all. Phil. Busy Phil.
You named it Frank?
No, it says Busy Phil. I promise.
Okay.
I knew his name at the time. But again, I always default to Frank. It's the beards for me. It's just confusing. It's confusing.
You don't get mixed up with Walter.
Because he's bald.
He still has a beard.
But that's different. He's bald and a beard. They have hair and beards. Carrington, Frank, and Phil all have hair and beards.
But they can't all be Phil. Why they gotta all be Frank?
I don't know, because Frank stuck to my mind. Damn. Anyway, maybe because I like beverages and Frank makes. Damn. Anyway, we see Shiloh and her little date with her friends, and they're asking him like, well, where is she? How do you feel about it? He's like, she's
among the top. Those were the words, among the top.
Now, we just had a whole debate off camera because he said about Ceci, he said Aisha is one of his strongest connections. He said that to her friend.
Among the strongest connections.
He said Shiloh
is among the strongest connections.
He's one of the top connections, or something like that. But he said, and then he said to Cecilia, when her friends asked, she's up there.
Same thing.
No, it's not. He made sure
up
to make
where?
Sure he made
up among the strongest connections. I feel like he's copy and paste. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you say. I don't care. It's copy and paste. You said she's up there. Guess what? The friends were okay with it. They accepted it. They felt like it was good enough because you made it seem like she was up there. Okay?
Not among the strongest connections.
Not the strongest connection, because that's what they asked. He said up there, which to me means among the strongest.
Or it means you could be 3 or 4. If you like playing that 3rd or 4th position, by all means. I like to be number 1. That's all I'm saying.
I like to be the only. Fuck a number 1, number 2, number 3. The only.
That part.
Y'all, it was a lot. This deliberation was a lot.
I'm going to just shade the deliberation.
It was a lot.
Okay, we see that the ladies sit down. And it was supposed to be, we've always seen them be calm, collected. And I mean, we see Camille and her faces hurt.
Because, of course, they're talking about Cornelius and how, he got snatched up initially. He's not making any other connections.
And none of the ladies feel like they have any type of romance.
Because it's time to narrow down.
So, and they're like, we can't establish them with Cornelius because
Camille got.
He's clearly already spoken for. Mm-hmm. And Camille is.
Yeah, she made some.
She was doing the most. So then, okay, I know we were all Zadia, and we're still here for you, Zadia. Girl, I don't know if you need to.
I don't know what she was going through.
And this is why I say she had to be going through something. Because as soon as she sat down at the beginning of the scene, she pours herself a drink. And she says, a heavy drink for a heavy day. Nobody else is like feeling like that, whatever. And as they get into the conversation and deliberating with Uncle Tommy, nephew Tommy. Basically, Aisha is like, yeah, we gotta, start to narrow this down. And she says something about a list to Zadia, which for some reason pissed her off. And she's like, why I only have 2? That's not a list. I love how Aisha broke it down. Bitch.
She said if you go to the store
and you pick up one thing,
that's just one thing.
But when you have 2, that's a list. And I know because I make them. Anytime there's more than one thing, I'm writing it down so I don't forget it.
Because as soon as I walk in the store, my mind goes blank unless I have one thing. But if it's multiple, then I need to write it down. I need to make a list. So I get where she was coming from with that.
You didn't get me, but Zadia had such an attitude, and then
her energy was just.
It was off. I was like, I have never seen this side of her.
I thought Aisha was going to snap on her, but she kept it calm.
It was Ceci that was ready for that smoke.
She ain't get New York on her. Ceci was ready. She said, if you at 100, I'm at 102. What's up?
Like, you're not going to be talking to me. And then I don't like how they did my girl, Sydney. Sydney sitting there and she was like, well, you also have to understand, like, I came late. I kind of feel like the guys haven't really got a chance to know me. And Sabrina's like, man.
Yeah, but she was like, okay.
And Mumin, I can appreciate Mumin,
Like,
whether you meant it or not. Because I'll be honest, I don't know if it was genuine.
I think it was genuine.
But I appreciate her saying in that moment because all the other girls were like, and
so what that mean?
Exactly. And they just dismiss her.
And Mumin was like, yeah, like, I get it. I understand. Like,
it was just, but Mumin also got a list. So, I don't know. It was just, they were trying to keep it cute.
But at the end of the day, you can only appear with one. So whether she has a list or not, Mumin is basically saying like, you gonna have to snatch one of ours off our list, bitch. That's what's gonna happen.
But yeah, we see they talk about the mini dates with Phil. Everybody enjoyed their date with Phil. And like they said, they talked about Cornelius, and then they go to Shawn, where we know Shawn just got lit up by Sabrina's friends. He apparently never called Ceci back.
Apparently he's not reaching out to anyone.
Now, I will say that was his mistake. Because this is a process. This is almost kind of like a dating game. And based off the date that we saw with Tessia, he probably should have returned her calls, and it probably would have kept him in the running. Mm-hmm. Tessia probably would have kept him in the running. But because his only connection was Sabrina, I feel as if, yeah, he kind of hurt himself. And I don't know. We'll see who gets eliminated, guys. But it's not looking good for Cornelius.
Don't do that.
It's not looking good. And at this point, I'm going to be honest. So I guess the whole point is like Ready to Love. If him and Camille have already decided that they want to be together, is that wrong?
No.
To go to the end and not really date anybody?
Initially, they're talking about, stretching the band and all this.
That was Aisha.
And then talking about they need to narrow down. So they've already narrowed down who they want to be with. So I don't feel like it should be.
Well, no, because I feel like they keep trying to get Camille and Cornelius off when at the end of the day, if they've already found a connection, why can't they just go to the end?
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? Figure it out. Mm-hmm. But that's just my thoughts. Because I'll be honest, this is my first season of Ready Love. So I didn't know if this was the regular.
Not me.
So I didn't know if this was like the regular process. And I guess if you get close to somebody too soon, you get voted off. I didn't know, but I don't see anything.
It is because you're supposed to make as many connections as possible because the one person you're initially attracted to or you make a connection with may not be the one that you're actually ready to love with. So
good point. But to me, they seem like.
But I feel like he made more than one connection. Camille did not. I think she went on a couple dates. But
she wasn't giving anybody anything.
She really wasn't. But Cornelius, it was between Camille and Courtney. So I feel like he did try a little bit without hurting Camille's feelings. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know. I feel like that's why I really like him because
he's really trying.
He actually gives he knows he's in the process and he's like, you know what? I still don't want to hurt this girl's feelings. I like her and
clearly really likes her to be walking on eggshells like he is in a process like this. Because, again, it's a part of the process. You knew what you signed up for. So, I don't know. But, yeah, it got real kind of like, I don't want to say heated, but it's snarky and just a little lot of, and I was ready to see her come across the table for real. Because the way Zadia was talking to her, I'm going to be honest with you, Zadia, I'm here for you. But you
would have given a damn about or not.
Yeah, you would have got that work talking to me like that.
I don't know if she
your tone of voice,
I don't know
everything.
If she because she work out that she can just.
I don't know, but that particular and it was so uncalled for that moment you would have got that work, sis. You would have got that work. All right, so it's elimination.
The bottom two.
The bottom two, we see Cornelius and Zadia.
He has no reason to be there.
He does.
He really does.
It's called Camille.
He narrowed it down, and it's Camille. That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay. But we see Shawn and Cecilia, and basically they are out talking about it's got to get rid of one of them. Basically, Zadia tells Cornelius, like, well, do you feel like you've made connections and, like, you've kind of been pulled away from the process? And he's like, yeah, and you were definitely in the top. And in this moment, Cornelius, as much as I respect you, you were definitely trying to save yourself. You were still trying to make it seem like Zadia had a shot when we all know that has been shut down by Camille. And she's friends with Camille. So anything that you might have said was going to get back.
Let's also say this. that Zadia, I felt like, was taking shots at Cornelius. It seemed like she was underhandedly trying to basically say, like, you would have had a shot with me if it wasn't for Camille. Like, ma'am, if he's spoken for, he's spoken for. Like, relax. We know you want some shit. But if Camille's supposed to be your friend,
yeah, that was a little. And then Shawn and Ceci, she's like, well, have you really been making connections? Like, what's going on? And he's like, well, yeah, I just kind of retreated from the process. He took a step back. He was like, this is a lot. And I guess coming in late is too, it was just too much for him, I guess. And I think Sabrina's friends really took him out. Like, I think that was it. He was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is that shit. Like, I know what type of man I am, what I have to offer. And for some people, I mean, unfortunately, you knew what it was when you signed up for the show, or maybe you didn't. But I just think that, yeah, it was time for Shawn to go. And as we see, Shawn goes.
And he seemed like he was ready to go.
He seemed like he was ready to go. He didn't have, they finished their drink.
He literally threw up his hands and was like,
he ain't had no problem. Calmly finished his drink with Cecilia. It wasn't like no walk up and leave. It was like, okay, we're going to sit here and honestly, like I said in the last clip, he should have got with Cecilia. He should have gave her more energy, but he just completely retreated. Maybe he really wasn't feeling her. I don't know. But I think the main point to point out is that we still have Cornelius here and we still have this Camille Cornelius debacle going on. So we'll see if they're going to keep them around to the end and so they can be ready to love, or whether they're going to get together off camera or what. But I just feel like, yeah, I'm with Chanel. I understand she likes him and I don't want to side with her, but I like him as well. And I just don't think it's the whole point to be ready to love. And clearly he is. He found somebody that he liked. And
is ready to love.
And is ready to love. And I hope she is. Because honestly, the way I see it going, Camille's probably going to break Cornelius' heart. That's what I think. But that was the end. It's a wrap. And next week, we get to see them meet the exes.
I cannot wait. I cannot. From the preview, Camille looked like she dug herself a ditch with Cornelius' ex. Not saying that her opinion matters, but clearly it matters.
So we are ready to get into it next week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you like,
comment,
and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we have new episodes coming in. And yes, we will see you next week for another episode of Ready to Love.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe.